Madison. What's going on? It's Miss Mac, and I'm back. So, last time we talked about organization. Today we are going to just take a little quick review, make sure you didn't forget anything. When we talked about it last time, we talked about you making the choice to decide whether you're going to rock this life out or not, because of course you have all the power. What do you need to do when you get organized? We talked about that. Find all your things, make sure you have everything you need. Then we talked about making sure everything has a place. We also talked about maybe you need a routine or a system so you're not running around in the morning. Find a routine and you follow if you need one. And then, of course, how do we monitor the system here? How do we monitor and maintain? Make sure that we just check our organization system, our method, and just, fine tune it. Just check it over every once in a while, maybe on a regular basis, once a week in Panther time to make sure everything is as it should be. And of course, again, you make the decision to do what you're going to do in this life. So I hope you choose carefully. So now, we're going to hop right into another area. We talked about organization, and now we're going to talk about focusing. Focus is not just needed in middle school. You need it everywhere. You need it whether you're playing a game, whether you're flying up in the air doing gymnastics, or hitting a ball if you're playing golf, hit tennis, driving, walking. You need focus for so many different things. And there's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. You can actually teach yourself. So let's start there. When life gets a little blurry, yes, you need to adjust your focus. So sometimes we know we need to focus better, but we're just not sure how to do it. So first thing, you create a focused environment. What that means is since your brain is so awesome, you can do certain things in certain orders routinely, and it actually triggers your brain. This is the time I need to focus. I've gone from relaxed and slouched to, just passive listening. It's rolling right over my head to now I'm listening with the intent to understand. But you can do it yourself just by creating a focused environment with triggers. Your brain will learn. So in my class, what it looks like is this. When I'm walking around and I'm doing my attendance, okay, but then I get to the point where I'm ready for them to pay attention and I'm in front and let's go. I'm getting ready to talk to you now, getting ready to spread some knowledge to you. I look for my pep. I see them. Let's go, darlings. Where's my pep? Where's my pep? Where is it? Let me see it. And it looks like this. They scooch their bums back in their seat. They lift their torso straight up in the air. They pull their desk in close, and then their eyes are on me, and their pen and their pencils are out, and they are ready to go. And you can see the change. I asked them after doing it for a couple of weeks, did it make a difference? Are you feeling it? And thank goodness they said yes. You are training your brain that when you do these 3, 4, 5 things, now it's time to listen. So let's look at some familiar faces that you might have recognized a little before the pep, before the pre-engagement, posture, and preparation. The posture, they're looking focused, they're engaged, listening with the intent of understanding. They're prepared because all their things are out. And now they're ready, prepared to get into the lesson, to engage in the lesson, which switches you from being a passive listener to an engaged listener, which makes all the difference in the world. Now, look at this sad crew here. Quite a few faces that you might recognize. Here we go. This is a crew that has no pep. There is no preparation. Nobody's ready. They are just all kind of faulty. Hoods on, headphones on, cell phones up. Can you imagine the fun they had making this picture, because it would never go down in our classrooms? But there it is. Now that they can pep it up, here's what we look like. We are sitting up. Our torsos are up. Shoulders are rolled back. Eyes are up. Everybody's pencil in their hand. It's a difference that really triggers your brain to get ready to focus. Okay, last thing. Let's talk about something that has nothing to do with school until the end, when you'll see it has everything to do with school. Okay, so we're going to stop right here. Look at these pictures. Clearly, you can see they're all having the time of their lives here, or they're very focused because they are really trying to drive. What are these folks doing? They're going to do what you're going to do in a couple of years, which is learn how to drive. It's only 2 to 4 years away, but there are a lot of things you need to do to get ready for it. Yes, you have to take a test, you have to prepare, you have to follow the rules, you have to write things down, you have to record your hours behind the wheel with a parent or a responsible adult. So now, what should these first-time drivers never, ever, ever, ever do if they intend to keep their licenses? What should they never do? All right, so let's go ahead, grab that Family Feud paper, and see if you can quickly come up with the top 3 things that drivers should never, ever, ever do. Get it all done before the music stops playing. All right, so let's roll out Family Feud style. Just want to give a great big shout out to Ms. Crutcher for showing me these slides because I've been having entirely too much fun with them. So let's see if your PT time was able to get to the top 3 or 4 answers. And all right, number 7 answer. Of course, you shouldn't be driving with no seatbelt. It's illegal, not to mention terribly dangerous. Loud music and noise. Someone's yelling and screaming. You have lots of laughter going on in the back for a brand new driver. Terribly distracting. Terribly distracting, could lead to accidents. You look back, by the time you look forward, something could be in front of you, never expected. So yes, loud music and noise, great distraction. Speeding, moving entirely too fast on a highway, moving entirely too fast through a neighborhood where it's supposed to be 20 miles an hour. You ever seen someone move too fast in class? Yeah. One person may have no focus, but the other person may be so focused on what's 2 feet ahead, their hand is up before the question is asked. So you don't need to go too fast. You don't need to go too slow, but you also don't need to go too fast. All right, let's see. Number 4, multitasking. You're driving, but you're also trying to bring some drink over and drink that and find some fries and dip it in a little teeny ketchup packet. You're doing all that at the same time as driving. Too much going on. Focus on one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. Of course, number 3, you didn't expect that. Yes, using earbuds. Why? Because when you put the earbuds in, you can't hear anything going on the highway. What if an ambulance is flying up and you need to move over quickly? What if you're on a mountain coming down the curves, a really big truck behind you, and that truck is trying to tell you, move out of the way. I can't control my brakes. But you're riding along just listening to your music and you never even hear it. All right, let's go to number 2. Of course, using a cell phone. Using a cell phone. Everyone thinks that when they look down, they can just go for a few seconds and no one will ever notice. Next thing, you've been on that for almost 30 seconds and you could be crashing into something or someone. Stay off the cell phone when you're driving. Of course, all of these things fall under one major category. I think you're getting it now. We'll see. And being asleep. Who in the world can learn when you're asleep? Who in the world can drive when you're asleep? One more thing on here that should be on here, but people don't really expect it to be a big deal with driving. Hoodies. It's hoodies. If you have a hoodie on, you cannot see left or right. It takes your peripheral vision down to only what is directly in front of you, which is horrifically dangerous when you're driving. I was always taught to be aware of my surroundings, which involves my eyes and my ears. Okay, so now that you can see all the things that you should not do when you start driving in 2 to 4 years, because I tell you, once you start driving, you're going to love the independence, you're going to love the freedom, you are not going to want to give it up. So make sure you avoid all of these. What would you put all of these in the category of? Distractions. So eliminate your distractions while you're driving and while you're in the classroom, while you're home. Eliminate your distractions and focus on whatever enhances your growth. So with that thought, Let's talk about one thing you should do. We talked about what you should not do. What's one thing that I do want you to do when you're driving? From time to time, take a peek in that rearview mirror. From time to time, check the mirrors from left to right. And what does that look like in the classroom? We have this amazing thing that's already in our brains, and it's called prior knowledge. If you are sitting in a classroom and you're listening and something sounds familiar, reach back into your mind. Can you attach some of that new knowledge to some of that prior knowledge that's already in your brain? That would make it even easier for you to remember. In my class, we do a thing where we watch videos and they train their eyes on the screen and they write their notes. They can only take short glances. You train your brain how to do these things. You train your brain to focus. One of the first things you need to do to help your brain focus on whatever it is you may do or you may be doing is to identify your distractions. That's the reason why I showed it to you out of a school setting. It's not just about, let me focus while I'm in middle school. No, this is a life thing. It is a life strategy. You cannot sit in a car and decide it's okay to be unfocused. You can't go through life that way. So treat middle school as a proving ground, a training ground. Work out your kinks and your little weird twerks right here. Just figure them out right here. Start right now and think of all the things that distract you in a classroom or at home. Is there a way that you can, after you identify them, eliminate them? Can you eliminate them? And now you're going to create this focused environment. You can do this anywhere. You can do it in your classroom. You can do it at home. You do these things for you to tell your brain I'm focused. Think about what are the things you need to get your brain to do. What motions will you go through to tell your brain we are now focused? Find that and do it often. It will make a difference. All right. Lastly, of course, all of these things are up to you. I remember asking a student once that I wanted him to come into my class and be a part of my class. And I talked to him in the hallway and I said, I just have one more question for you. Do you care? And he said, oh, do you mean about school? No. I mean, do you care about you? Middle school is a blip here in life. Do you care enough about you to act like a sponge and get all of the knowledge that you can get, all of the training that you can get, grab all of the strategies that you can get and use them for your life? You're not in school for teachers. You're not in school for your parents either. You're in school for you because you have a future coming. So you decide, are you going to do all of the things that lead you to live that dream of your life, whatever future you see in your mind that makes you smile? Or are you going to purposely do all of the things that lead you away from that dream future in your mind? You can choose to rock this life. You have all the power to decide. So if you can decide to rock it, why wait? Why not start rocking it right now? I hope you go out and do exactly that. I've enjoyed hanging out with you. Thank you so much. And a big special thank you to my models, my Rachel Carson models. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.